fresh. Which is why I love the versatility. How versatile. Somebody get us a dictionary. I'm just gonna do my intro. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be going over my top favorite user-friendly makeup products. This is a video that I have been wanting to make for so long because I feel like there's so many people who get into makeup and they honestly just want to know what's going to be a product that's going to work, but most importantly, what's going to be a product that's user-friendly and I don't have to be a professional makeup artist to get it to look good. So I used all of these products that I'm going to mention in this video to create this look. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this look and some of the products that I have just tested and tried and just have grown to absolutely love in my makeup collection, then just keep watching. Alright, so we have me in my no makeup. I have the tiniest bit of mascara on, but that is completely everything that I'm wearing. So we are starting from a fresh canvas. So I typically go in with either this moisturizer by Paula's Choice. It's her Skin Recovery Replenishing Moisturizer if it's nighttime. And then for daytime, I always use the CeraVe AM Facial Moisturizer. So if you haven't tried these products, they're super awesome. I don't typically use a primer personally. If you're someone who just like loves primer, needs primer, more power to you. I just haven't personally found a primer that I love to wear kind of on a daily basis that I love. The only primer that I ever wear is when I'm going out for like a special occasion and I need my makeup to stay on a really long time. Then I'll use the Becca Evermatte primer, but besides that, I pretty much just use moisturizer, so you can keep it simple. I know I do. I already applied my moisturizer for the day and I did go in with the CeraVe one, so we are good to go. I don't think you guys need me to show you how to put lotion on your face because I'm pretty sure you all know how to do that. Alright, so the foundation that we are going to be using today is Smashbox Studio Skin, and this foundation is so awesome. I have seen this look amazing on oily people, I've seen this look amazing on dry people, combination people, you name it. This foundation is awesome. It does have hydrating in the title, which normally as an oily girl, I stay super far away from any formula that has any words like illuminating and hydrating because typically that's just going to leave me looking like I have butter all over my face at the end of the day, and that's just not the look I'm going for. However, when I got this foundation, I was shocked by how well I kept my oil under control. It didn't lead to any kind of weird dry patches. It really just covered all the bases for me, and I just think that this is a great option if you don't know where to start and you just want a foundation that's very user friendly but also has great coverage and does not feel heavy and can work for a lot of different skin types. The tools that I prefer to use when I'm applying foundation, especially when it's a liquid foundation like this one, is a simple foundation brush and a beauty blender. I like to first coat my face and then I like to blend it out. So I just took a couple of pumps of this foundation and put it on the back of my hand, and then I am just going to simply take this foundation brush and I am going to just do a very thin coat on just a small section of my face. I like to work in small sections, not the entire face at a time, just because I find that this foundation does dry down rather quickly, not super fast, but I just don't like risking the foundation drying before I have a chance to thoroughly blend it in. With this foundation, I love it because if there's an area where you need a little bit of extra coverage, you can always do just kind of like a normal amount of coverage, and then see in these areas where I just need a little bit extra, I just go over top of them, and I find that it does not get cakey at all, and it just gives a little bit of extra coverage. I of course do have a stubborn blemish on this side, which I'm actually kind of glad because then I can show you guys kind of what I do when I have like an active breakout. I'm going to do one final step later that will also cover a lot of your questions about how to cover acne when your liquid foundation just won't quite cut the redness. One of my most asked questions is how to get a concealer to stop creasing. I think that this is a misconception that a lot of people have when it comes to concealer, that it's the concealer's fault or that, you know, something's wrong with the product. Something could be wrong with the product, but 9 times out of 10, it starts with skincare. Whenever I'm dehydrated, I'm not drinking enough water, and I'm not moisturizing my under eye every day, that's when my concealer looks the worst. So I think if you're having an issue with under eye creasing, I would first look at your skincare to evaluate what you have going on, and then look to the product that you're using. So one product that I really love for pretty much anyone, but especially anyone that has more mature skin. So this is going to be someone who's probably in their mid-20s and on. When I hit 25, I feel like my under eyes just completely changed. Under eye creasing and under eye fine lines were not something I even thought about when I was in college, and it's because I didn't have them, and I just didn't understand what people were talking about when they referred to like, oh, my eyes are so creasy and all these things. But once it happens to you, it happens to you. So one of my favorite concealers that I have just been using for years, and I always come back to it, is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I love this because the formula has a good amount of coverage, but it is so lightweight, and I love the texture. It is not cakey at all. It's so thin, and you really only need a little bit. Don't do what you see everyone else doing on YouTube where they're drawing these huge triangles all over their face. That works for some people, but like if you're struggling with creasing, that is not something you need to be doing. If you have mature skin at all, I beg you to not do that, because you are going to have a mess under your eye. So I am just going to put a little bit right here and a little bit right here in the hollows of my eyes, and I'm just going to blend that out and see how that does. So you really don't need a lot. Like, this is really brightening my under eye, and like, that is so much brighter. And it might look a little bit like scary at first, you know, you might be like, whoa, that's kind of bright, but I swear in person it does not. I'm kind of looking at it in my viewfinder, and I feel like this is maybe coming off on camera as like super light for me, but when I look in my actual mirror and in natural light, it actually looks really good. So sorry if the color is a little weird on the camera. See how that's just like really brightening up that area, and then you can take whatever is left and you can kind of just like go anywhere else that you experience redness. It's time to go in and set our face, and today I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder. I have been using this powder for about a couple years now, and I switch off back and forth between the RCMA and Laura Mercier. Kind of rhymed. But for this video, I think Laura Mercier is just a little bit more user-friendly, mainly for the fact that it's easier to just run out and purchase it. You have to buy RCMA online, and I just think like that's kind of unrealistic when you're just wanting to get your product right now and you're like super excited. Also, I think Laura Mercier is very user-friendly because it really does do a great job of baking and setting the face, whereas RCMA is an amazing powder and I use it on clients all the time. But I just think that this one is just with the packaging and just with the formula, I don't know, I just think it'd be a lot better for beginners. Alright, so I'm just going to take a small amount in my cap, and I think again a good rule of thumb is just to pat out your skin under your eyes. Make sure there's no creases before you set your eye, because if there's creases and you set the creases, then you're stuck with the creases. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this powder, and you don't have to go crazy under your eyes. If you are super oily, by all means, like, go for it. I am super oily, but under my eyes, I just have to be careful not to set too heavily because of my creasing issues. Now I'm just going to take more of that powder, and I'm actually going to use my beauty blender, and I am just going to kind of bounce that all over my face. I really like this method of putting translucent powder on my face just because I feel like it really puts the product in the skin and it helps it not look as cakey. Alright, so I'm going to talk about a step that I don't always have to do, but because today I have some stubborn friends on my face, especially this one, I am going to go the extra mile and I'm actually going to spot conceal with a powder foundation. It's going to add a little bit of extra coverage. I've been using the Smashbox, what is it called? Smashbox Halo Hydrating Powder, and this powder is like my new best friend, and I just take a little bit of this on a concealer brush and I basically just tap that into my product and I spot conceal wherever I've put foundation, but I can still see a hint of red peeping through. If you have an active breakout, and I know this sounds gross, but like say you pop a zit or something and you can see that like maybe it's just, it's a little fresh. Like I feel like it's harder to cover up. Liquid's not going to cover that up because liquid cannot adhere to anything that is not completely dry. And so if you have that issue, I would highly recommend using this technique. Alright, so it's time to go in with bronzer, and honestly the most user-friendly bronzer that I come back to all the time is just Hoola by Benefit. I just think it's a tried and true amazing bronzer, and why try to fix something if it's not broken? I've been taking a just angled blush brush and I have been starting at my ear. I just do a very light-handed, and I mean light-handed, like don't be, so I just start here and I just very gradually start to make circular motions up to my cheekbone, but I basically go right below it, so that kind of helps contour me out, and then I take a little bit more and I basically just kind of diffuse it onto my cheek, if that makes sense. You don't want to like have it all over, but you don't want to just have a line. I like to diffuse it a little bit. It just looks a lot more natural. Alright, so next I like to just very subtly dip this It Cosmetics, what is this? This is their Heavenly Luxe Wand Ball Powder Brush. What a mouthful. But I really like this brush for bronzer. It really helps it not get streaky. I don't know what it is, what kind of magic about this brush is just so amazing for bronzer, but I seriously cannot get enough of it. Up next, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Cosmetics Blush Quad. This is in their light shade. There's two. There's a dark and a light quad. This is the light one. I love this, especially for beginners, because there's lots of different blushes in this. There's 4, and it's super affordable, and I just feel like their blushes are very blendable, and they're highly pigmented. I'm just going to take, again, on this It Cosmetics, I think that this is just an angled contour brush, or it could be the blush brush. I'm not sure, but I love their brushes. I never know what they're called. Sorry. Alright, so I'm just going to take this on the high points of my cheeks. Sometimes it helps to smile, to find where that is on your face. And I am just basically not going to go above this line. I'm going to go below it, and I'm not going to get too close to my mouth because that can also be a no-no. So make sure you stay at the apples of your cheeks, and then you just barely diffuse it up towards your ear. Next, I'm going to go in with my favorite highlighter, and this is probably no surprise. I love this Becca highlighter, and it's such a long name. They call it Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed Perfector, and this is in the color Champagne Pop. That was such a mouthful, but basically this is highlighter. And as you can see, it is well loved. I have hit pan. I think I've had this highlighter for probably over 2 years. I'm not even kidding. And there is still so much left. So it is a pretty penny for this bad boy, but you get what you pay for. It's so finely milled. You only need a little bit to have like a blinding highlight. So I mean, if it lasts a long time, it kind of evens out in the end. So I'm just going to take this on my Wet n Wild P75 brush, and I'm just going to barely put this on the high points of my cheekbone. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I forget how pretty this is, and then I do it with like my ring light on and everything behind the scenes, and I'm always just like, yes. Now I'm going to take that same highlighter and I'm just going to put it on this little concealer brush. I don't even know what this brand is. Lamora. I'm pretty sure I got this off of Amazon, honestly. like a really long time ago, but any just little concealer brush will do. And I like to just put this right underneath my eyebrow, and I'm kind of just prepping that area because we're about to go in to eyes. Sometimes I like to put my eyebrow highlight on first, because then I just feel like it can really blend into the skin and there's no harsh line. I also like to take that highlighter and just put it in my inner corner of my eye, because I know that I'm going to want it there. And it really doesn't matter if you do this before or after your eyeshadow, but because we are going to be using cream eyeshadows today, I just think it might be better if I just go ahead and do this. If you've been following me on social media lately, you will know that these Stila liquid eyeshadows have been, oh my goodness, my absolute obsession. I just feel like these are so user-friendly, they're gorgeous, and like you almost can't mess up, I swear. Like powder, I feel like, you know, it can kind of get out of hand, you can have fallout, you can just like, it looks weird somehow, it looks patchy, like you just need these. Like, ask for these for Christmas. I'm obsessed. Like, if you want a new eye product, like, this is it. And right now, they have, like, packs of 3 going on. They are not cheap, but you can get, like, 3 of these for $25, and I swear they're gonna last you forever, and, like, they are amazing. So, if you're gonna splurge on anything, splurge on these. I'll link them down below. Alright, so they have their glitter and glow type of liquid shadows, and then they also have their shimmer and glow. So these have more glitter, and these are just more of like a shimmery look. So I'm going to show you both. I'm going to do a shimmery shadow, and then I'll put a little bit of like glitter on it just to show you guys kind of, you know, what you can do. Alright, so the shade that I'm going to be using all over my lid is called Kitten, and this is part of their shimmer and glow shadows, not the glitter ones. This is just going to give us like a slight shimmer. So what I do is I just take this wand and I literally just put this on my eyelid like so, and I just pat it out. Like, this is so simple. And I just feel like these blend so well into the skin and they stay forever. They're just the best. Like, look at that. I just look like I know what I'm doing, even though I did something so easy. Alright, so now that we have the shimmer down, we are going to go in with the glitter. And this one is in the color Smoldering Satin. And it's such a gorgeous, like, just kind of like champagne golds. And I am just going to put that barely at the start of my eyelid in the corner, and then I am just going to very lightly just kind of help that, just tap that in. So as you can see, it's like we have the shimmer, and then we just have like a touch of sparkle on our eyelids. So super easy, and I mean, you saw me, this took like 2 seconds. For eyeliner, I'm gonna go in with the LA Girl Ultimate Instant Stay Auto Liner, and I'm going to use this in the color Lasting Brown. And these are just like super durable. I feel like these aren't waterproof, but they are definitely smudge proof. Like, once you get them down, it's pretty hard to move them, which I love, because if you're gonna do anything in your waterline, or especially if you're gonna tight line your eyes or anything like that, you want something that's going to definitely stay throughout the day. They're also a very affordable price point, which is pretty awesome. I found them because I saw on the Ulta website they had like 5 out of 5 stars, so I just had to give them a try. Alright, so I'm just going to very lightly line my eyes, and I'm just going to go in my lash line. This will help you get like a very simple but like defined eye look. And then while they're still setting, if you're someone who likes to smoke out your eyeliner a little bit more, they're definitely workable in that way. Workable. Wow, I really don't speak English. They're definitely, their formula is very workable. Is that a word? We're gonna make it one. Workable? It's very, I don't know anymore. Alright, so now we have the eyeliner done, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to curl my eyelashes. Now I'm going to take my L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. They have in different shades. I'm using Carbon Black. Sometimes I use their brown shade. This is just like my kind of ride or die mascara. I've been using this probably since high school. No, like I for sure have been using this since high school. All right, now it is time for eyebrows, and I'm going to use my NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade Taupe. I love these. They're super affordable. I love it because they have a very fine tip, so it will be very easy to draw hair-like strokes. So for me, I personally just tinted my eyebrows myself, which if you haven't seen that video, it's a couple videos back. I tint my eyebrows at home, which leads me to not have to fill in my eyebrows as much. So I personally am just going to take this on the tail of my eyebrow because that is the only place right now that I have been filling my eyebrows in. So if you're someone who wants to fill your eyebrows in a little bit more, you might want to get a little bit more aggressive, but for me, I just fill in the tail of my eyebrows and that is sufficient. So then I just take that. Alright, so the final, Daniel.
Man, I gotta go to work here in like 10 minutes.
Okay, just try to be quiet. Alright, so the final step that I'm going to do for my eyebrows is this NYX Control Freak eyebrow gel. And, okay. So the final step of my eyebrows is going to be this NYX Control Freak eyebrow gel. I love this stuff. I think one of my biggest things is just taming my eyebrows. My eyebrows tend to be very long, and so I like to make sure that they are completely set in place throughout the day. My favorite product for lips that is so user-friendly and is super hydrating and just kind of the best lip gloss I've ever tried is the NYX Butter Gloss collection that they have. The Butter Gloss lip glosses that NYX sells, they are seriously like amazing. The formula is so creamy and it's not sticky. I hate when you wear lip gloss and you're just like, I absolutely love this for everyday wear. If you want something a little bit more like fancy and kind of like more pigmented, they do have shades that are more pigmented. I just picked out this nudie color, and this is in the color Praline, and I just love it because it's a little bit darker than my natural lips, so it just adds a little bit of color, but it still stays really subtle and neutral and natural, the way I like it. And then the final step that I usually do is I just take a setting spray, and I love this one by Mario Badescu, and it is their aloe, chamomile, and lavender spray. So I just spray this on my face. Alright guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to check out the description down below. It has every product that I mentioned linked right there so that you can research different products that I talked about and see if they're going to be a good fit for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon.